Hello, I'm Mike Perry, your current state senator in Senate District 26. The taxes are coming. The taxes are coming. In January, it's a modern-day Paul Revere message, and the sooner that America's taxpayers understand it, the better. See, in January of 2011, taxpayers will find themselves with the sticker shock of new and expanded taxes that leaders in Washington claim are crucial to sustain the continued runaway government spending going on in Washington, D.C. According to a July report issued by Americans for Tax Reform, the largest tax increases in history will take effect in January and will dramatically hit families and small businesses the hardest. All personal income tax will rise, from the higher to the lower, and all rates in between. Tax credits are scheduled to be cut, and familiar penalties like the death tax and the marriage tax will kick in and be back in full force. More troubling are the higher taxes on those who save and invest their money. Despite claims that the recently passed health care reform bill will save money, there are over 20 new and higher taxes that taxpayers will see in January. Be prepared to pay a new 10% tax every time you want to go tanning. Also, brand name prescription drug companies will face multi-billion-dollar tax assessments, which will inevitably be passed on to consumers, making those drugs more expensive. Despite the national average unemployment rate of 9.5%, leaders in Washington have chosen to increase taxes on small businesses and job providers. The failure to index the alternative minimum tax will lead to some families having to calculate their tax burdens twice and pay the higher level. By allowing certain tax credits to expire, like the research and experimental tax credit, employers will experience an enormous burden by combining higher marginal tax rates and the loss of tax relief. If you feel like you're being nickeled and dimed by government forces, you're not wrong. It seems clear that government at all levels refuse to scale back their ferocious appetite for spending. In the last year, Americans have experienced a 10% unemployment rate, a 10% reduction in take-home salary, and private retirement accounts that have been decimated by the recession. Groups like the Alliance for a Better Minnesota and liberal Democrats have all got the same answer: higher and higher taxes. Nothing is off limits for this runaway spending crowd. Do you need to fill your car up with gas? Pay a tax. Do you want to buy a six-pack of beer? Pay a tax. Do you own a small business that employs people and produces valuable products or services? Your taxes are going up. Even items not currently taxed in Minnesota feel the wrath of the tax and spend cartel. Each year there is a call to impose sales taxes on internet purchases, accounting services, and clothing. Let's be clear. Tax dollars pay for important things that we all need and desire: infrastructure, public safety, education, and our judicial system are all core functions of government and should be funded at responsible levels. However, at a time of historic deficits at the state and federal levels, we need to ask, how much money is our government harvesting from taxpayers, and where is it going? The Minnesota legislature is scheduled to convene on January 4th, 2011, and we will be faced with a $5.8 billion budget deficit. Between now and then, I'm interested at hearing from taxpayers, not tax users. Members of the Minnesota legislature need solutions that create wealth, create jobs, and create opportunities for all. When families experience unemployment or reductions in their take-home pay, they can't simply just raise taxes to pay for them. Neither should the government. Elements to our budget need to be based on redesign, consolidation, and serious structural reform. Now more than ever, government needs to go on a diet with this out-of-control spending. In January of next year, a New Year's resolution won't be enough. You won't be able to afford it. I'm Mike Perry, your current state senator. I'm asking for you to re-elect me, to send common sense and fiscal responsibility back to St. Paul. That's what you will get when you vote Mike Perry on November 2nd. Thank you and God bless.